Welcome into Sixers Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham, filling in for Chase Sr., who's got the day off. I wanted to take a look at some trade targets for Philadelphia now that Joel Embiid has suffered that torn meniscus injury. They kind of backed off as an organization what the specifics are, but he's going to miss some time here. And listen, can we get the comment section flowing here before we get into these trade targets? The 5 people who comment 76 the most get a shout out on the next video. Producer Chip's going to be digging through these comments, and whoever types 76 the most times, top 5, you're going to get a shout out on our next video. So get in there and light up the chat. Okay, we don't know, like I said, the full extent of the Joel Embiid injury. Maybe he misses 3 weeks. Maybe it's 6. We'll have to wait and see. Now, this is a professional orthopedic surgeon who had this to say about the situation. He says, because it's the lateral meniscus over the medial meniscus, that oftentimes you're going to be taking a way more conservative approach and probably avoiding surgery if you can. So what he's saying there is there's a chance to avoid surgery, which is good, but you may have to rest longer and miss more time so you don't, come back too soon, re-aggravate it, and then lead to a surgery. So you could be in trouble here if he misses a big stretch here. You're losing his size, his obviously unbelievable scoring. Tyrese Maxey ain't dropping 50 every night, but that was a performance last night. There's no doubt about it. And we're in agreement here at Sixers Now that we don't want an extended stretch of Mo Bamba. So let's take a look at some trade targets to get some scoring in here. How about Dejounte Murray? He's been linked to trade rumors for the last month or so as the Atlanta Hawks are viewed as a team that could shake things up. He certainly is a good scorer. He could come in here, play next to Maxey, 21.5 points this year. Having his best year of his career, I believe, as a three-point shooter. That was a concern earlier in his career. He's gotten a lot better at that. He can play point. He can play 2. Gives you another playmaker. Gives you a good defender as well. I think him and Maxey fit well together, hypothetically, because they can both run the offense. They can both play off ball as well. So I'm a fan of this potential fit. In terms of what it would cost, this is from The Athletic, a trade idea. Murray to Philadelphia for DeAnthony Melton, Robert Covington, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Is that enough? Does it get it done? I would think Atlanta would want a second first-round pick, but we'll have to wait and see what the market ends up shaking out to be. Would you make this trade? Type A for accept or D for decline. I would do it. The question is whether or not the Atlanta Hawks would. So let me know, Sixers fans, if you're on board with this move. Melton, Covington, a first and 2 seconds to land Dejounte Murray. We'll dive into some more trade targets here in just a few moments, but do want to tell you about today's sponsor. That is Factor, guys. You can get 50% off America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, Factor Meals, by going to factormeals.com using /NBAchat50. Use that code NBAchat50 for 50% off. They have tons of different meal options, from breakfast to lunch to dinner, calorie-conscious options, protein plus options, which offer 30 grams of protein or more. Those calorie reduced ones are less than 550 calories per serving. So if you're looking to, not eat as many calories, they've got that. They've got protein shakes. They've got salad toppers. A lot of their meals are delicious too. I'm a big fan. They prepare the food for you so you don't have to. We don't have time to get in the kitchen for 2-3 hours a day. Go to factormeals.com/NBAchat50. Use code NBAchat50 for 50% off. They will deliver these chef-prepared meals straight to your doorstep, and it takes less than 2 minutes on your end to prepare it for the rest to be ready to eat. Factormeals.com/NBAchat50, code NBAchat50 for 50% off. How about DeMar DeRozan, who it's unclear what the Chicago Bulls are thinking, what they're going to do. There was a report the other day that they might just stand pat, which I think is a mistake from their standpoint. But DeMar can still really score, man. I mean, 22 points this year. One of the best mid-range guys in the NBA, even at this point in his career. He's not going to give you a ton defensively, but he can distribute the basketball, also be a secondary playmaker at over 5 assists per game. And with Embiid out, I do get more intrigued by DeRozan because I think in a perfect world, he's a super sixth man on a title team, but he could come here and start, especially with Embiid out. So you would think from his standpoint that would be an appealing situation to come play for a contender. Hopefully later in the season Embiid comes back, and then you've got 3 legit 20-plus point scorers in Embiid, Maxey, and DeRozan. So certainly open to that idea, and I don't think it would cost a ton if the Bulls do make him available. Now pick one. Who would you rather have? You want Dejounte Murray type DM or DeMar DeRozan type DD? I think DeRozan would be cheaper and is perhaps a more gettable player, but Murray I think would give you some more upside. So DM for Murray or DD for DeRozan. Daniel Gafford has been linked to trade rumors a lot, and if you want a guy who can, help fill that void at center, Gafford might be the most realistic and best option on the trade market. Having a really good year, averaging close to a double-double, 10.5 points, 7.5 rebounds. He could block shots as well, over 2 blocks per game, which I really like. What I like about Daniel Gafford is he knows exactly who he is. He's not going to throw up reckless shots. He's not going to be someone he's not. He brings good effort and energy. He's an above-the-rim player. He can protect the paint with that rim protection like I mentioned. He can start. He can come off the bench. So he could start, and then when Embiid comes back, he could be a a 15, 20 minutes guy off the bench as well. So I like that versatility. I like his game. He's a high-end backup center who could also start. So I think he would be a really, really good fit. I think Andre Drummond would be a good fit too, and Philadelphia knows all about him. He would not cost as much either. Like, compared to all these other guys, he would probably be on the cheaper end of the spectrum, and he's quietly having a really good year for Chicago. He started for a decent stretch there when Nikola Vucevic was out, played really well, had a couple 20-20 games, but in limited minutes off the bench, he's still giving you almost 8 points, grabbing over 8 rebounds. He's not the best defender, although I think he's played better this year, but he is an elite rebounder. He is one of the best rebounders of this generation. He can give you some points around the basket, and for a cheap option, you could do a lot more, or a lot worse. Come in, grab some boards, play some decent defense, score around the rim, be an energy guy. That is something the Sixers could need, and especially with Embiid out, you're just going to need more minutes at that 5 spot to come from other guys, and I think Andre Drummond could do that. He could also start if you need him to, especially in the short term. So the perfect plan is if you could get one of Murray and DeRozan and one of Gafford and Drummond. Bonus, you could get a guy like Gordon Hayward on the buyout market if you want to go in that direction. Hayward's still pretty solid, right? I mean, 14, 15 points per game, pretty efficient from the field as well. If he hits the buyout market, which I expect him to, I think he would be a great, great addition. So a potential roster here, if you are Philadelphia, if you add Murray to that backcourt, Maxey next to him, you bring in a guy like Daniel Gafford, who maybe he starts, maybe Paul Reed starts, hard to say for sure. You sign Gordon Hayward. He's kind of the same too. He can start, he can come off the bench. So that would give you great depth and just overall a higher ceiling for when Embiid comes back, because then you get Embiid back in there and you're cooking with gas at that point in time. Now, what is your confidence level in the Sixers without Joel Embiid? Scale from 1 to 10. I mean, I think they can navigate through the regular season for a while, but if you're in the playoffs and he's unavailable, like, your ceiling's the second round again. Like, and even then, it's going to be hard to win a playoff series without him. So, 4 or 5, I think they still make the playoffs without him, but do real damage? It's not very high. Like, you need him out there to actually go on a run. It would be like the Celtics losing Tatum, the Mavs losing Luka. Like, this is a premier top 5 player on the planet, if not a top 2 or 3 player on the planet. So you're not going to replace him. It's just, can you get by without him for now and get him healthy for the playoffs? That is certainly what you're hoping for. All right, guys, that's going to do it for 76ers Now. Chase will be back sometime soon, so stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We got you covered between now and the trade deadline.